Cisco still unwashed.
Yeah.
Alessio still no face. So
Yeah.
simple topics really today. Last of Us, day before, Horizon. So we're talking three wastelands, and then Microsoft Bethesda, which is a fourth wasteland. Very post-apocalyptic today. So, first news is just Last of Us. It's not gaming in a sense; it's the show. Renewed for a second season. I've watched the first two. I've watched the first two episodes, and they're good. So fair enough. I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, it wasn't really in question given how much it's been appreciated and viewed as well. It was like the biggest growth from pilot to episode 2 in HBO history. So
yeah,
it's a big show for HBO, and they announced the second season. But also, interestingly, one of the creators, Craig Mazin, who also worked on the Chernobyl TV series a while back, if you remember. And basically, he let it slip that season 2. The Last of Us Part 2, the story of The Last of Us Part 2, the game, won't just fit season 2, since it's larger. Well, the game is larger than the first one. So basically, he hinted that it will be split across at least 2 seasons.
no.
So
Honestly, it surprises me they didn't split the first game over 2 seasons.
Yeah,
they could have hammered it out.
Especially since they've said outright that they don't really want to go beyond the games. So there is nothing currently beyond part 2. So basically, this will be it. Once they adapt the part 2 story, that's it. So
it makes sense.
That's a good. I still have to play The Last of Us. I haven't watched it, but as a general thing, I think it's good that they just want to stop at the games and don't.
Well, to be fair,
stuff.
so far it's just been the game. It's just.
Yeah, no, I should play the game because I played like an hour of it long ago, and
maybe I'm gonna
got around to it.
Maybe my memory's wrong, but so far the show's essentially been the game.
And I think it's a good thing because when showrunners start adding stuff to establish stories, it's never a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just minor things they've changed. For example, the way that I guess it's not much of a spoiler, but if you dislike spoilers, then maybe pause for a bit. But the way Tess dies, it's different in the game. It's in the same place at the same time, but in the game she dies at the end of Humans, but in the TV she dies at the end of Infected. But essentially it's still very, very close.
It's just one of those things. I'm gonna say slight changes are okay, but and some of the changes I agree with, like how it all spreads and what it is. Like removing the need for gas masks is 100% the right thing because the game massively fucked up the use of gas masks. Like the game does not make gas realistic, so the show's aiming for a bit more. Which, and to be fair, not wearing gas masks means that people can talk.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been weird with the TV show to see them, the protagonists always wearing masks, and you can see their hyper expression.
Well, the thing for me is, and like I said in one of our chats, is that the game massively fucks it up because a gas mask, they take the gas mask off like a meter away from the zone, which is like I'm fairly sure spores can spread more than that meter, and not only that, once you've walked through a zone which is where you need to put a gas mask on to keep yourself alive. well, once you take it off, imagine how many of those things have landed on your clothes and got in your hair and everything. You need a shower.
Yeah.
And yeah, so no, I never. It was one of those things where the game does it for effect, but it doesn't hold any semblance of. Well, even it doesn't even hold sense in the narrative of the game.
Yeah,
But maybe
that's
I'm
true.
just picky.
Yeah, but yeah, overall it's a great adaptation so far, and yeah, looking forward to the next episodes. And well, interestingly, there is another tidbit of news regarding The Last of Us. Well, actually, two, but the other is related to the co-op multiplayer game. Apparently, it will have lots of focus on story co-op because Neil Druckmann slipped that you will be, budding up with a co-op friend, and so hopefully it will be more PvE than PvP. Although I mean, PvP could be interesting as well. We'll see. But other than that, he also said that it's far from granted that he will make a part 3 game, basically. So
Yeah.
he said if we find a story that makes sense and we want to make, then fine. Otherwise, they won't do it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Well, they have the freedom, like he said, they have the freedom to do this because Sony is not pressuring them for another game. So they're in a good position to do that. Or don't do that if they want.
Yeah, but, I wonder if, let's say that the TV and both across season 1, season 2, and possibly season 3, whatever, and maybe even the multiplayer game, they both go very big. They become massive, and will Sony just tell them, actually maybe it's better if you do make part 3. I think probably
Well,
it makes sense.
see, I don't. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't see the multiplayer game being that massive. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it could be. They've said it's the most ambitious project yet, and
Every developer says that about every game.
yeah, that's true. But when it comes from Naughty Dog, where basically they are nearly in the same space of Rockstar when it comes to polish and whatever. They make of course, their games are much smaller than Rockstar's, but they still make very, very polished games. So if they usually multiplayer games are not that polished. So if they make an interesting multiplayer game, which is also very polished and smooth, feels good, runs well, looks great, then it could be big.
Yeah, well, same as anything, could be big. We'll see. But speaking of multiplayer wastelands, the day before.
Yeah.
Which version are we talking about here? The version that's, I don't know. There's about 500 versions now, all copyrighted, isn't there?
Well, apparently they weren't quite smart enough to secure the trademarks, at least in the US. So someone from South Korea actually registered the trademark, and a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So after it was announced, and they've said that this basically impacted the release date. Well, that's what they said in the first place. Then, later this week, they acknowledged that the delay was coming anyway, which honestly was pretty clear from the get-go.
Yeah.
And especially the community. I mean, even though it's one of the most wish-listed games on Steam, so then there's a lot of people waiting for this game. Which, since it's basically in a similar setting with The Last of Us, just serves to prove that The Last of Us multiplayer could be really big. But lots of these people in the community who have been following this game for a long time are quite wary because we have only seen staged gameplay. So it's we haven't seen raw gameplay. So there are lots of unknowns when it comes to this game, and of course, this new delay with the trademark thing, it's it's not a good hype move, especially if you consider that they could easily resolve this trademark dispute by simply buying, I guess, the rights from the resistance. So I don't see why they couldn't release the game sooner than November 10th, which is their new release date. If they just agree to purchase the rights from this guy. So I guess it has a lot more to do with the fact that the game isn't ready. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, I enjoy the setting and the premise. At least it's very very intriguing to me and to many people. But it's a big question mark because we still have to do to see a lot of the stuff that we're going to do in the game. We still have to understand a lot of the mechanics, and I've sent a few questions to the developers already. So I'm waiting to get the answers back, and when hopefully we can at least clear up some stuff about the game on the website with the interview.
Yeah. Fair enough. I hadn't really got much to say. It sounds interesting, and it's a massive palaver what's happening with the copyright trademark. I mean, I'd just rename it to. I wouldn't even call it The Day Before. I'd just basically say, no, it's not called The Day Before. It's called Day Before. It's completely different.
Yeah, well, that's the easy way out.
Yeah, and also, the developer isn't really known to make big games. I mean, they've mostly made smaller games, so that's another reason everyone is kind of wary. But let's say, I guess, as usual, I am hopeful and positive, unlike you, Chris. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, dear. So yeah. So we've done with that. So we'll go to another small developer who no one's ever heard of, Guerrilla Games. Made a game called Horizon, I think.
Another small game.
Yeah.
Unknown small game. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got some early game footage and for multiplayer, and then some concept art or something. I know they've got the VR thing coming shortly. That's about all I know.
Well, this footage is very, very early because I think they said it was captured in 2020. So it's it's been captured even before.
It's essentially stick figures.
It's essentially it essentially looks like an Horizon game with multiple characters, and it doesn't really show much. And I think that's really not representative of what they're doing. Also because the concept art that leaked looks completely different from the usual look of the Horizon game. So it's probably I would say we were probably testing some things with that, and somehow the footage got released online.
Yeah,
but actually, you can see already in this test footage that the graphic style is very different from that of the actual mainline games, and that's something they have confirmed. They said this co-op multiplayer game they're making will have a stylized look, whereas the main games have a realistic style. So I don't know. Personally, I guess I'm hopeful that the graphic style will change, but not towards the concept art, which is also very stylized. I'd like the visuals to be close to the games that we've known and played, because I don't think it makes sense to do otherwise.
Yeah.
Sure, there is Fortnite. That there's a bunch of games that are kind of cartoony or stylized with the visuals that are successful, but I think a lot of Horizon fans are disappointed by this kind of look and this kind of choice, because I don't think it fits with the universe very much. But we'll see. I think as a game, it could be very, very interesting when done with co-op multiplayer. It could be a lot like Monster Hunter, so potentially that's
like we said. Like we said months ago, that's where it's going. They already have the basics down for a game, for a Monster Hunter like game.
Yeah,
that's the way they're going.
Yeah, I don't know. But Monster Hunter isn't that stylized. I mean, it's
it depends, because Monster Hunter Rise feels more stylized than Monster Hunter World. It's still not completely stylized, but it's not as realistic Monster Hunter can be as Monster Hunter World. They're very different. I don't know. I don't know. Like we said, it's very early. Things can change. We don't even know when it's coming out. I mean, it's not officially announced. They just said, yeah, we're working on it. We're looking for people to work on it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things will change in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that they can see that quite a few people don't like this style, and maybe they will change it a bit. Honestly, that's my take. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have an addendum to the topics list we discussed before the podcast. Sorry, but well, there is kind of a big news that we still haven't covered on the website. Well, when the readers hear this, it will be on the website. And basically, Amazon is doing a Tomb Raider universe, interconnected universe between games, film, and TV. So they are the publisher of the new game that's been announced, and now, a couple of days ago, the Hollywood Reporter said that they also signed up to make a film series and a TV series as well. The TV series is being handled and written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She got an Emmy Award for Fleabag, also on Amazon. So yeah, it's an interesting choice, and I guess every IP needs to have its own interconnected universe now.
Yeah, pretty much now. Be interesting to see who they use to as the act. Because if they're having an interconnected universe, they're going to have to have the same actor doing the show. Yeah, they've got to have the same. I mean, if they do like a young Lara Croft, like young Indiana Jones, then fair enough. But yeah,
I think probably maybe the TV series will be like a prequel, probably, or something like that. That makes sense. Or maybe it's focused on other characters. Although, I mean, to have Tomb Raider without Lara Croft would be weird.
Well, it'll be Lara, but it'll be like baby Lara or something, God knows what.
I don't know. I mean, I think. I think one. Sorry. All right.
I just coughed.
Okay. There's also an animated series that's coming next year, although it will be on Netflix. And in that series, actually, Lara Croft is being voiced by Hayley Atwell
Yeah, from Marvel fame.
Honestly, I think she would make a great Lara Croft. Possibly. I mean, of course, that's if they don't want to make her, a young Lara Croft. In that case, probably not. But I think she's got the look, and she could do well.
Yeah.
That area, and we'll see. And also, it would be interesting to see whether, through the power of Amazon, and apparently they're spending quite a bit on this because THR is quoting a source saying that this is one of their largest commitments after the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In terms of investment, so it's big, and maybe we'll see the actual. I don't know, the star they choose for the movie and TV. Maybe their physical features will be in the game as well. Who knows? That would be interesting.
Well,
it's something that, of course, like we said for I think the Warhammer 40k universe, it's not easy to create an interconnected universe. Also for the DC universe, they want to make everything interconnected between.
The thing is, same as anything. This is the problem. Is trying to create an interconnected universe is making a decision. It's going to be an interconnected universe before it's successful. You need something to be successful before it becomes a universe. Marvel, I'm gonna say the only place that's done it right is Marvel, because they probably had an idea of making it all interconnected. Obviously, that's why Samuel L. Jackson appeared in like the first Iron Man and all that. It sets things up for the future, but at the same time, if Iron Man had have failed, they wouldn't have been continuing. So yeah,
I guess you could argue that Tomb Raider already has a very successful gaming franchise, so you can.
But it needs to be valuable for whoever's doing the universe. So, well, no, according to Square Enix, it wasn't successful enough.
Nothing is successful for Square Enix except for Final Fantasy, and not even all of them.
Yeah.
So,
that
doesn't count.
It's a wait and see. Maybe it'll do well, maybe not. I enjoyed Alicia Vikander in the last Tomb Raider film, to be honest. But
yeah, I did. Although I doubt she should be involved with this next project.
No, doubt it. But either way, yeah. So we'll see. Same as that. And another universe that failed. The Monsterverse, what the Paramount were trying to make, they made that Mummy film with Tom Cruise, and then they never made another film.
Yeah, well, I guess that movie just sucks. So it's hard to make a franchise.
But that's the issue by saying we're making an interconnected universe, and then suddenly the first film fails, so then you scrap another 3 films. Even after you've already signed people up.
Yeah, but with Tomb Raider and Warhammer that we mentioned, it's different because it already has an established fan base. Well, Warhammer probably more than Tomb Raider. But...
we know where they went wrong anyway. They didn't bring back Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan. Hopefully he will be in a new The Mummy because he said he's up for it. Although I mean. He would have to work hard to be in shape again.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, and well, quick and easy one. They're the quick and easy ones. Now the last topic. Microsoft Bethesda Soft.
Microsda. Microsda. That sounds bad.
Yeah, I guess as Spencer said, Bethesda is finally pulling its weight after $7.5 billion of acquisition. They're it looks like, well, basically most of the lineup for this year is carried by Bethesda, honestly, except for Forza right now. But
Yeah.
The main stuff is coming from Bethesda, and
but that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing for Microsoft, because then Bethesda will not. Then ZeniMax will not be releasing anything else for about another 3 years. They need to get things staggered.
They do have. They do have some stuff that's still coming. I mean, Machine Games probably going to release something maybe next year.
And id probably.
And indeed, yeah, and also the Roundhouse Studio that basically was founded in late 2019, and they haven't released anything yet, but I expect they will talk about something.
We'll
maybe
see.
But it's especially this Hi-Fi Rush thing. What did you think about this Shadow Drop?
I think it made me subscribe to Xbox Game Pass again just to play that, and
is it on Game Pass?
You know, it was bold. I mean, it was bold in a way because they just releasing a new franchise. They drop in a new franchise as soon as they announce it, and it's a very good game. I mean, it's funny how the people who created the genre, the character action genre, are struggling to make a decent game, and then everyone else that came after them are doing great, because a lot of people at Tango have worked on the first Devil May Cry. And they created a great game that I know I always say that, but it's not. This is how you make an action game without, stuffing it full of useless stuff that people don't want to play. Bayonetta 3, for example. But I mean, they felt I suppose they felt very confident, and they were right to feel this confident, because I didn't play much of it. I played like a couple of hours, but it's a really, really, really good game. I mean, it really comes together nicely. The art style, the gameplay, it's really, really, really good. I expected from Tango, because I was expecting something a little more, grim, since they made The Evil Within. It was really unexpected.
They also made Ghostwire, but actually even with Ghostwire, they pulled a bit back. It's creepy, but it's not full on horror. And even then, they said we don't want to be known as the horror studio only, so we want to make other stuff as well. And I guess it shows. And the only question I have, because I haven't really got the time yet to play it. I'm wondering if it is a full-fledged game or if it is on the smaller side when it comes to length and
it is the usual size for a game like this. I think I've read it's like 12 hours long, which is the same length of Devil May Cry 5 or the Bayonetta games. So it feels full-fledged to me. I mean, it's there are some. I can already see some issues, but I'm not sure, because I played too little of it. But there's a level of polish that tells me this isn't just a small time stuff. What would be interesting to see is why they decided to show and then release it on the same day, announce it and then release it on the same day. Because this is interesting. They could have they could have marketed it a little more, but because the game, it's easy. I think it's an easy to market game because of the colorful graphics and the humor and that kind of stuff.
I suppose it's just a trial. It's same as EA what they did with Apex Legends.
Yeah, it's a completely different type of game. I mean, Apex Legends.
I'm saying it's a different type of game, but it's still the same shadow stealth drop idea.
I don't know, because Apex Legends was a multiplayer game, so it was supposed to have legs. Hi-Fi Rush, I don't know. It's doing well. I mean, it's one of Steam bestsellers. since release. It's pretty high up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would be interesting to see why they felt so confident to do something like that. I mean, the game is good, so that's probably the reason, but it can't be the only reason.
Potentially, it's also because all these games have legs in the sense that they're on Game Pass.
Yeah, I guess that makes it easier. I mean, even though the game was in production since before Bethesda were acquired,
But Microsoft
so they didn't have Game Pass in mind when they were making it. That's
no. I think Microsoft will have just said like, "Oh, this is game. Let's just fuck it, get it on Game Pass."
Yeah, I guess Spencer said something like that the studio was very confident, and I guess the game was pretty much done. So they said, "What the hell? Let's try this." And like you said, it worked. I don't know. Like I said in the group chat workplace, I think shadow dropping a game. Of course, the quality of the game is very important as well. But when you shadow drop a game, it comes with kind of a built-in boost of excitement. Because if you like to play the trailer that you've seen on the stream, then it's like, oh, boom, I can play it now. It's like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
If you can play a game immediately. And so I think it's a tactic that perhaps more developers should think about. And generally, I think most games are announced way too early, and I don't think.
No, 100% they're announced way too early. The vast majority of games, but there you go. And then you've got some games that just never release. I'm looking at you, Hogwarts Legacy. Where's my copy?
I guess you can ask Warner Bros. They're being very very tight about it, and hopefully.
I have got a contact. I have actually got a contact there, so I may harass.
Yeah, I know.
I may harass.
It should be coming soon, but since it's reportedly it's very big. It's somewhere in the vicinity of the Witcher 3. If you want to complete everything, it's going to be over 100 hours. So that's a lot of time.
I'll have to book a day off work.
And yeah.
I'll have to book a day off work.
It's only 40 hours if you go straight for the story stuff.
I'll have to book a day off work.
No one does that in open world games anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll have to. I'm a completionist, so I might have to book a week off work. I might just have to. I'll phone. In fact, no. I don't want to phone in sick. I'll put a pillow under me jumper and say I'm pregnant.
Well, you also may have to take a week off Leela. I mean, like, can you drop her to your aunt or something? I don't know, because she
don't start with that. I've got the new kitten. Leela's not happy.
Oh.
Leela's not a happy girl.
Yeah. She'll come around.
Yeah, she'll get used to this.
She'll bloody have to. Like I said, they saw each other. Leela's the new kitten's just like insanely playful, so whatever. So she just runs around, plays, and Leela sees her and hisses like mad. So we have to do the slow. So when Leela starts hissing, the new kitten's just like, oh, and then I'm just like, oh, both of you, shut the fuck up. But yeah, the new kitten, call her Luna. I'm going to call her Luna. Luna, you can distract her, just wear the one toy. She's like, oh, there's no other cat. Oh, the cat's disappeared. I'm playing again. And Leela's just that you can't distract her for life for it. So slowly does it. There's going to be slow introductions now. And just keep them separated.
Okay. But back to the Xbox Developer Direct, we're talking
important things here. Unless there's a stray sequel being announced, we've got more important things to talk about.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Well, I guess you've got another game coming for you, Chris, in April, Minecraft Legends, which is kind of their take on strategy games.
Yeah. I like it. Looked interesting.
Yeah. And it's like Relic is helping, right? Or oh no, sorry, it's the studio from the other studio. It's Blackbird, maybe. Well, that's helping with the Minecraft Legends. It's yeah.
I've just looked at Steam and I've just seen a game that's perfect for me. Animal Shelter Simulator.
Okay. And yeah, other than that, we also got the release date for Redfall, for which I am very hyped because I love the game. And on the other hand, there was a kind of a bit of a letdown for Forza fans because they were thinking they'd get the game, soon. But all Microsoft said was like it's coming this year, but it doesn't sound like it's coming before fall, or something like that.
It'll come when it comes.
Yeah.
They've been waiting a long time for it. I'm sure they can wait a bit longer. Some people.
Yeah, it's good that they're saying that will be over 500 via World Cup, so that's a lot. I think it's more than
as long as they don't shove some shitty the shitty stuff in it again. Yeah, they fucked it up that time.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
They can ask Polyphony Digital now to do that properly.
I don't know what you mean. Gran Turismo 7's like the best game ever made. Fuck
yeah. Before they introduced the microtransactions, you kind of made it sound like it was in the review.
The racing's fantastic. It looks amazing. It's just that it's the career stuff, which was always quite enjoyable. They made it boring. It's just all that going back to the car cafe just to listen to somebody go, "Oh, did you know that the first wheel had spokes and it was invented by Wheelie McWheelison in 1812 and the Romans before that had wheels and before that we had stone wheels and the first car was invented by Kari Carman. Oh, here's a picture. Fuck off." So anyway, what you've been playing?
Francesco, you've been playing a lot. Go ahead.
Well, I've been playing a lot of small things because they are demos and they're short. So yeah. Well, I'll go with the easier one, with the easier one first because it was pretty much what I expected. It was a demo for Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. That's a remake of, I think, the second Sherlock Holmes game, if I remember right. I don't know, but it's one of the old ones. And this one is being remade with the Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 mechanics, so it's got an open world and some other stuff. But the demo was I suppose I could call it safe, but I think it would be a little undeserved to say that because Frogwares is from Ukraine and they're going through all that shit we know about. So it's already a great thing that they have managed to work on the game with everything they've been going through. And so the demo doesn't have the open world stuff. It's just a small sequence inside an asylum, and it's as Sherlock Holmes as it gets. You get the investigation, you get some quick time events, and it's as enjoyable as the series has always been. But I don't think while Chapter 1 brought the series forward, I don't think this will do the same. Well, for obvious reasons, because of the conditions under which they're working on the game.
Yeah,
but so it will still be a good game because they already got the story, and it's pretty different from everything we've seen in the series because there's some Lovecraftian stuff in the middle. So
that's very cool to see, and especially after the Sinking City, which they also made.
I like.
Yeah. I think Frogwares has been on the rise since the Sinking City, because the Sinking City had a lot of good stuff, but was also clunky in a lot of ways. And in Chapter 1, they improved that a lot. So they'll probably improve it a little in the Awaken. Only that we haven't seen it yet because the demo, like I said, doesn't have the open world. The open world stuff yet. So we don't know. Then I played. Oh my god, what is it? Okay. I played another demo of another game. That's called Dark Envoy. And it's a role-playing game from the team that developed Tower of Time. That's another role-playing game. And this one was really good, actually. It feels a bit like Star Wars, like I said in my preview. It feels a lot like Star Wars, and they definitely took a step forward when it comes to the setting, because Tower of Time was pretty much Dungeons and Dragons, the basic fantasy stuff. So they had some interesting stuff, but the setting as a whole really was a little predictable. In Dark Envoy, they stepped it up, and it shows. Even the combat is very interesting, because it started as a tactical turn-based game. Then they went the real-time with pause way, but they kept some of the elements of the tactical combat system. So you have a lot of interactive objects in on the battlefields, and there's plenty of good stuff. The demo is short; it's like an hour and a half or so. So you really can't tell if the story will be good, but it looks promising. It looks promising enough.
Fair enough.
Then, if you want, there's one more very short stuff, and I'll just say quickly, and it's well, I'm actually done with it. I just have to write the review. It's the third DLC for Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, and I'll just be brief. It's difficult if you don't have a perfect build. It's very difficult, but at least this time around they added some decent story, and it wraps things up very nicely, and they tie nicely with Final Fantasy 1 actually, and let's hope they make the sequel. Nomura said they are open to making a sequel if there's demand, so I hope they do, because they really nailed it. Everything about that game, they really nailed it.
Fair enough. How about you, Alessio?
Yeah.
I played some Dead Space, the remake. Not too much, but mainly to check the performance. But of course, I also experienced the game, and well, I guess it's Dead Space, which is good, because Dead Space was always good. They improved it in a number of ways. But as Nate said in his review as well, it's not like a groundbreaking of a remake, neither in visuals nor in other stuff. It's mostly quality of life things. For example, the map is more interconnected. There are additional side quests, which is interesting because it makes the world, I guess, feel more alive, and it completes the storyline in a nice way. And but other than that, it's pretty much on the safe side, if you will. But well, at least they didn't screw up anything, so there is that. Performance could be better, as I wrote in the article on PC. There still is some stuttering, and honestly, I was expecting a bit more in the visual side, but of course it's still a very good game. So I guess anyone disappointed by the Callisto Protocol can buy this. Just as long as you go in expecting, as long as you don't go in expecting like a massive improvement. I guess it's just Dead Space on steroids for now. Maybe in the future they could make a brand new game and it may be more revolutionary, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense, for a remake to be on the safe side. We'll see. And Motive is an interesting studio. They also are making the Iron Man game, I think, next, if I'm not mistaken. So it will be interesting to see how they handle that, because obviously they can't rely on anything when it comes to games, unless perhaps they just take the fight system from Anthem, which a lot of people have wished for, and slap it on to Iron Man. I guess that could work, but other than that, it will be interesting to see how they tackle it.
Fair enough.
Also, I just wanted to add quickly something about the Ukrainian side, which Francesco mentioned regarding progress. And this week, another studio also shared an update. It's a studio that Chris loves a lot. It's 4A Games, the studio behind Metro. And I was kind of sure that most of them were remastered by now, because reportedly they had moved to Malta with the first issues, when the first issues arose in Ukraine in 2018. But apparently, actually, most of them are still in Ukraine. They still have the office in Ukraine, and others are working remotely in other Ukrainian cities. So they openly said, basically, their workload and the development of their new projects has been impacted by the war. So
yeah, of course,
that kind of sucks, and they threw a bone to the community by releasing the Metro Exodus SDK, so people can now make very advanced mods for the game. It's basically the full development tool that they have. So there is, potentially good stuff coming, but my inkling is that they did that mostly because they don't know when they will be able to release a game right now.
Well, they've got people fighting in the army. They've got people, sadly, who've died. So yeah, it's
unfortunate.
It's one of those things. It's life certainly in this situation. Life definitely got in the way, and one prick called Putin got in the way.
Yeah,
but
I see you has this to answer for.
So yeah, it's there's more important things than games when it comes to that. Far more important things.
Sure.
But anyway, and as for me, well, I need to get the review done. Won't take me long. It shouldn't take me long anyway when I get bloody started. But yeah, New Kitten and the antics around that. The Deadpool DLC for Marvel's Midnight Suns. I even forget its name. The Merc with the Mouth, or fucking Salad Tosser. I don't know.
The DLC title is The Good, the Bad, and the Undead.
That's the one. Yeah. See, I just call it Deadpool DLC. So yeah, it's more Marvel's Midnight Suns. And Deadpool's an interesting, fun character. The missions, the story missions of his is same quality as the rest of the Marvel's Midnight Sun stuff. It's a good DLC for a good game. That's genuinely that's about the gist of the review. Good DLC for good game, because I'm not all into this tray racing and all your DLSS and all that malarkey. I play the games for the fun. You technology nerds.
Well, I'm still need to play my Midnight Suns. Unfortunately, I haven't got the time yet. But it's good to see that Deadpool. It's one of the characters that you can use throughout the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Well,
you've got you only unlocking after Spider-Man unmasks. You don't unlock him from the very start of the game.
Okay. And
so
is that early?
No, when he unmasks himself, probably 35% through, 40%. It's a rough guess.
I guess.
But you don't, like, the certain characters you don't get till later anyway, due to the story, such as Scarlet Witch. In fact, I think she's the last character you get. Or will it be Deadpool? I don't know now, because obviously when I've unlocked him, I've already got past that stage. I only know you have to get to a certain state part because they're the instructions.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Yeah, Deadpool. And then I've also been playing an indie game which I want to review called Maha Kenshi, which is fun. It's like a card-based, turn-based tactics, deck-based, turn-based tactics. With a few RPG elements. It's an interesting little indie game. I like it. And that's me.
Yeah, kind of, build it as something like Midnight Suns, but I don't know if that's correct.
No. Well, you only can't. No, it's a weird one. You could probably say it's like a mixture of the combat version of Civilization with Midnight Suns. So there's no city building or anything, but it's like it's hexes where you for moving your characters and all that, and then you've got the card system. Not the same as Midnight Suns, but it's a card battle system. So, and most card battle systems have got similar-ish aspects, haven't they? So, I don't know. Think of it like, I don't know, Civilization with Midnight Suns, and that's probably the worst possible comparison ever made. I don't know. It's a decent game on its own right. That's about the best way to put it. And I think that's it from me.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else unless there's something quickly to add, because we've gone on a while anyway.
Yeah, I guess we can end on this note.
We can indeed. We will end on the happy note of I have kittens to try and introduce over the next few weeks. Yay! I'm just waiting for Amazon I'm waiting on Amazon to deliver a pet gate. That should be arriving today, so I'll put the pet gate up, and it means I don't have to keep the new kitten locked in a room on herself. I just have to visit her every now and then. It's not nice. I feel guilty.
Yeah. It's like this for every cat. Every time you have to do this.
It does say. I know that's normal. What it is, but it's just my head. It's just like I hear the kitten going meow, and I'm like, oh, you baby. Anyway.
Well, I think you're going to have an easier time because they're both young.
Yeah. Leela's 5 months. So the new kitten's 4
months. You're going to have a...
Same as I said, the new kitten isn't a problem in the slightest. She only looks at Leela when Leela starts hissing. Leela hisses
it's always glares. It's always the pet that was already in the house. That's the problem.
Yeah, because it's her territory.
That's it.
It's literally essentially it's like. Go on, say again.
Oh, I was just saying, she maybe thinks I'm going to be replaced.
Oh, she'll never be replaced. No, fast asleep inside of me. Yeah. Yeah, you little Hitler, just fast asleep inside of me. Oh well. Anyway. Right, that'll do for this week. See you next time. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.